welcome to my corner of the internet. Today I'm instead of doing a movie paper cutout type thing and then having some cool background music, I am going to tell you about this design that I came up with because there's a story behind it. So let me tell you a story about myself. Okay, so I'm a college student, and one of the number one things that I think comes with being a college student is worrying about tuition. Before I was a college student, I was talking to one of my friend's moms, and she said I was, talking to her about how I was worried about funds, and she said to me, if this is the Lord's will for you, then He will provide a way for it. So I really took those words to heart because I was really worried about money. And I started praying, Lord, if this is your will, then I ask that you would provide the way. My 18th birthday rolled around, and then my parents gave me a fund that they had set aside since I was small. It wasn't enough for college, but it was a great deal. It was a lot of money. So that was an answered prayer, and that was really humbling. But I was convicted because I was like, am I supposed to give up 10% of this and tithe it to the church? And I was like, I don't want to. I don't think it's necessary. But I caught myself trying to, talk my way out of it. So I said, well, that's a pretty good sign. I should probably tithe it. So I did, and it hurt my soul. But it was also good for my soul because that's what I was supposed to do. So, I tithed it, and it hurt a little bit, but the very same week, I got 2 scholarships from my university that basically provided 50% of my college tuition, and I was really humbled by that and thankful for that, and it was like a big reminder that God will provide. So, yeah, money, I guess it kind of came out of nowhere. But, I started getting impatient. So, how the Israelites, the whole let my people go thing, Moses, and God used Moses to get them out of Egypt, and he parted the Red Seas, and he provided bread from heaven and water out of the rock, and the people still complained and complained and complained and then complained some more, and that was really frustrating to God. But I was convicted because I didn't have all of the money for college, and I was like, I want my money now, but it wasn't there yet, so I was kind of complaining at God, and I was convicted about that. So, I then read, Genesis chapter 22. That's the part of the scripture when, God has given Abraham Isaac in his old age, to be his heir. And then he tells Abraham to go sacrifice his son. Abraham goes and he takes Isaac up to the mountain, and Isaac's like, hey, Dad, don't we need a sheep or something for this? And Abraham's like, well, God will provide the sacrifice. So they go up, and Abraham's about to sacrifice Isaac. And God shows up, and he's like, I see that. Okay, let me read the actual text of this, because I'm heavily paraphrasing. Okay, here's my Bible. So chapter 22, verse 12. And he said, do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and there behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, the Lord will provide, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. And in the side notes it says Jehovah Jireh. So I made this paper cutout after this to remind myself, as I complained about not having all the money, that God will provide, and we need to be, I need to be trusting in Him for the little things, but He's provided the bigger things. He's provided salvation and an alternate sacrifice for us. So I made this little paper cutout to remind myself of that. And cool coincidence, the mascot of my school is a ram. So the horns, it's like, trust in the Lord to provide for you, and He's got this. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool, and that's my little story. God will provide, and I hope this story was a helpful reminder thing to you. And what do I say? Like and subscribe, I guess. Thank you for watching. Peace out.